Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes with my buddy Cowboy Joe Blue, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here, and let's wake up this football guys. Wake up here, guys. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. It is Sunday evening, and the great news is that Dallas Cowboys did not lose today. Although technically, I guess in some ways, we won and we lost. We are now in the basement of the NFC East. We are truly in the basement. We are the worst team in the division, which in some cases may actually be a good thing because right now we hold the number 3 pick. That's right, the number 3 pick. But as crazy as this sounds, we might have the inside shot at actually winning the division. It's wow. It's crazy. It's crazy. But this is true. Now, the one thing I want to get rid of, I do not ever again want to hear anything about Carson Wentz can do things that other quarterbacks can't do. That Carson Wentz is elite. He is so far from elite that it's not even funny. To have the Eagles, now I understand, my team stinks. My team's on the 4th-string quarterback. 4th-string quarterback. And even when we had Dak, our defense wasn't doing great things. We were terrible from every phase of the game, with the exception of wide receivers and quarterback to wide receivers. Other than that, we couldn't bust a grape. Now, our team is actually playing better since. And in fact, you could actually look and say the Cowboys actually, even though they didn't get a win, the last 2 weeks are treading up. The fact that we went toe-to-toe with the Steelers last week, and they're up like 32-7 or something right now against Cincinnati, that they're blowing Cincinnati out the water, we should actually feel good about maybe getting a win against Cincinnati. I'm just saying. We went toe-to-toe with an undefeated team that is blowing doors right now and literally put the fear of God in them. So I at least look at that and say the Cowboys now are beginning to trend up. We got tons of injuries. We got COVID and everything else. But we are trending up, and we have a few games that we might actually have a chance in. When you look at our schedule versus the Eagles, we actually have the easiest schedule left in the division. That's a fact. Understand this. The Eagles, coming off a bye week, got most of their players back healthy. You know, they got Rhaegar, they got Alshon Jeffries, they got Miles Sanders back. You know, they still had Carson Wentz. He hasn't been injured and things like that. They got some of their offensive linemen back. They were healthy and rested and literally laid an egg against the New York stinking Giants. They were putrid. Carson Wentz is so far from elite, I'd take Baker Mayfield over him. I'm serious. I'd take Baker Mayfield over Carson Wentz at this point. Carson Wentz is trying to press. He's got bad passes. He's holding on to the football too long. We're talking about a guy that after 9 games this year has 12 TDs and 12 interceptions. No, I can say at least he didn't give any interceptions away today. Did have 2 fumbles today, leads the NFL in turnovers. And if anybody, I mean any of you Eagle fans, come at me and say something about Carson Wentz being elite, I'm going to smack you. I'm serious. And I'm going to honestly say, if you haven't seen Doug, the coach, I can't remember his name now. Damn. Doug Peterson. If you haven't seen Doug Peterson's press conference, I ain't seen it. But I think it should go just like this.
Well, what happened was that second game, we got our ass kicked, or the second half. We just got our ass totally kicked. We couldn't do diddly poo offensively. We couldn't make a first down. We couldn't run the ball. We didn't try to run the ball. We couldn't complete a pass. We sucked. The second half, we sucked. We couldn't stop the run. Every time they got the ball, they went down and got points. We got our ass totally kicked in the second half. That's what it boiled down to. It was a horse performance in the second half. Horse. I'm totally embarrassed and totally ashamed. Coaching, our coaching did a horrible job. The players did a horrible
seriously.
job. We got our ass kicked
Eagles,
in the second half.
You are a disgrace. Now, speaking of disgrace, Philly 500, shave your head. Shave your head. Shave your head. You don't deserve hair. You don't deserve, Philly, you do not deserve hair. You backstabbing SOB. You should have lost before. You should have been a 2-time loser to the New York stinking Giants. Now, I don't know where Kyle Pizzle is. I guess he's milking this thing. He's waiting. You know, he knows he's got the floor right now because he's the only team in the division that got to win. So he's just waiting for everybody to come through. Kyle Pizzle, you know, whatever. Cole Piss, where are you? Don't you have something to say? He's letting this thing grow. I get that. But see, there's two things, Philly, you got to do. You need to get on your knee, okay? On your knee and go like this. I'm serious. And you need to cut that hair. Shave that head. I'm serious. Because you owe Capizzle and you owe me, son. You owe me. But back to Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, my God. What happened to him? 2017. Oh, you know, he was in the MVP conversation. He's got a Super Bowl ring. Yeah, okay. He didn't play in the Super Bowl. They ain't got a statue of him out front. And at the present rate, it doesn't look like there's going to be a statue out there. That guy is terrible. I mean, he is terrible. He looks so far away from being an NFL quarterback right now, it's not even funny. How do you not convert 1 third down? I do not ever want to hear anybody talk about Dak Prescott and, oh, well, you know, we can just get another quarterback. We can just draft one. Just draft one. Have you looked around our division right now? Now, Alex Smith actually played pretty well. Alex Smith has had 2 games in a row with over 300 yards, which is great. They lost both of the games, but they still had 2 games with over 300 yards passing. Alex Smith is still capable. But considering you spent $72 million for him for 3 years, and this is the 3rd year, and you've got, I think, 6 victories in 3 years for $72 million? Is that it? That you drafted the guy Haskins last year that ain't sniffing the field anymore? That you'll be looking for another quarterback next year? How many quarterbacks have you been drafted? Let's see. You signed Donovan McNabb. Then you used 3 number ones in the second for RG3. You got Kirk Cousins in the 4th round. You let him walk after paying him $45 million in 2 years. And then you signed Alex Smith for $70-some million. And then you ended up drafting Haskins in the 1st round. And you're still looking for a quarterback. Ouch. Then you get the New York Giants. Shout out to Danny Dimes. You have to say, actually, if a team is playing better and trending in the right way, it would be the New York Giants. The Giants are definitely trending better. They're beginning to learn how to win, or at least today they learned how to win. Or then again, maybe it was just they're playing a crappy team in the Eagles. I don't know, because they were able to run the ball on them really well. Danny Dimes made some good plays with his legs and with his arms. And you ended up getting the victory. And you've been close every single week. The problem for the Giants has been 4th quarter, they just can't win. And then we come to the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, whose defense the first 7 games of the year was atrocious. Historically bad. Couldn't bust a grape. Couldn't stop a runny nose. Couldn't do jack. But the defense, with the infusion of some young guys, clearing out some of the trash, has all of a sudden started playing pretty good. Like I said, I'm watching the Steelers that are just scoring at will right now. My defense shut those guys down. Okay, all right. So, you know, small victory, but it's a small victory. We got an easier schedule. The worst 2 games we have left are the Baltimore Ravens, which I can put down as an L, and the San Francisco 49ers, which, you know, who knows if Jimmy G's going to be back, and they're a losing record. The rest of the games are games like Cincinnati, the Giants, Washington, Eagles. Your peers, the ones you have to go through to win your division. You could look at the Cowboys, who had been terrible, especially after losing Dak, with Gilbert Garrett Gilbert, GG, actually played pretty good offensively. Now, we don't know if it's going to be Garrett Gilbert or if it's going to be Andy Dalton. But this division, as crazy as it is, 5 wins may be the thing that wins for you. Now, I don't know if you want to win the division and make the playoffs. It's nice to have the playoff bragging rights. But the difference may be not making the playoffs, top 10 pick for everybody that's in the NFC East. Winning the division, 19th. And if we think about the future, I think the Cowboys have a lot of talent if they bring their quarterback back. They have a lot of talent and have the opportunity because of the amount of draft picks that they have. If they're a top 5 picking team, that they can really turn this team around really quickly. The team that you really have to say is in deep kimchi is the Philadelphia Eagles. Their roster got fat from the Super Bowl and carried over a lot of guys. That team is old. A lot of their stars like Jeffries will be gone. Deshaun Jackson will be gone. Maybe Fletcher Cox, Zach Ertz, the guys that carried them, through that Super Bowl run. They've gotten old. And worse, their salary cap situation is atrocious. They're about $80 million over last year's cap come next year. They're going to have to purge the squad. So if you're a Cowboy fan, in some instance, you kind of want the Eagles to win the division and have those worst draft picks. If you're a Cowboy fan that thinks about the future and wants to look at it saying, yeah, this year is a wash, but next year we could be a juggernaut, then you kind of want us to lose. If you're the Giants, well, hey, you're on a roll. If you guys make the playoffs with Jason Garrett as your coach, you could look at that and say that's a win. Because Lord knows, since 2016, you guys have stunk. Washington, well, you're the Redskins. Oh, excuse me, the Washington football team. I'm Mark Holmes, and, well, Giants. And Eagles.
I've lost my mojo.
I'll see you guys